Baltimore Blast, 13-2. And in first place in the Eastern Division, set to take on the Syracuse Silver Knights, who won just last night by a score of 6-4. That ups their record to 9-6. They're in second place in the Eastern Division. They're a game up on the Florida Tropics, who have an 8-7 record in the third. So it's a matchup of number 1 versus number 2 here tonight in the Eastern Division here on MASL TV. We're live here in Baltimore, Maryland, Towson University in the CQ Arena for the Blast against the Silver Knights. Steve Stauffberg with you tonight in place of Gary Stein and Paul Mittermeier. Andrew Primrose, as always, down on the field for our video stream cast tonight. These two teams have played each other twice this season, and the Blast have been one-goal winners in those last two contests. Back in November here in CQ Arena, 7-6 final with the Blast in a one that featured extra attacker goalers and a feeding frenzy in the fourth quarter. And then the Blast on the comeback in a game just a few weeks back on January 12 up in Syracuse with a 5-4 win over the Silver Knights back then. It's time to bring in Andrew Primrose right now. And Andrew, as I just talked about the series history between these two teams, close, no doubt, and a lot to look for tonight.
It's such a weird series to talk about, Steve. As we look at the lifetime series between these two teams, it's 25-5 lifetime. The Blast own 25 wins out of the 30 meetings between the two, but that doesn't reflect the closeness of these games. These games are always so close, and you mentioned the two games so far this year, both one-goal games. That's been the history of this series. For Syracuse, it's been close but no cigar. As we see the starting lineups come out there, and we notice one of the storylines that's going to be key to this series moving forward, and that's number 99 in goal for the Baltimore Blast. Joey Capino still starting for the Blast as William Vanzela is knocked out with the abductor torn injury in his hamstring. Still out. He was ruled out 6 to 8 weeks. He's about a week or two into the rehab there. The hope is to get him back for the playoffs. But in the meantime, Capino's doing a really, really good job in the two games he started for the Blast, giving up 7 goals in 2 games. And, of course, he's matched up against one of the hottest goaltenders in the MASL tonight, and that's Andrew Coughlin. Andrew Coughlin really having a breakout season here. 9-6, started every game so far for Syracuse, and a 5.35 goals against average. So he's having a heck of a year so far, and it'll be interesting to see these two goalies in a game where one goal certainly makes a difference, to see these two goalies go against each other.
All right, Andrew, thank you. And, you know, the starting lineups tonight, as you mentioned, a few of the guys for that Baltimore Blast squad here tonight for the Blast. Up front, we'll see Juan Pereira and Vinny Dantas. Midfield, Tony Donatelli, and then your defenders, Pat Ely and Jeremy Raley. As Andrew mentioned, Capinos in goal tonight for the Blast. 13-2 so far through 15 played. Over on the Silver Knights side, they've just come off that win last night against Cedar Rapids up at their place, 6-4 the final. And glad to see that the team is here, that the officials are here, and we'll talk a little more about that later. As they're going to start tonight, Canardo Forbes. We expect to see this guy, who was the first star in that game last night, with 1 goal and 2 assists. Up front, of course, no doubt about Slav, Ubi Parapovich, and Patrick Thompson also, who is a who is an addition to their team here and actually did score a goal in that game last night. On defense will be Bo Yalovac and Darren Toby. And in goal, Andrew Coughlin, as Andrew did point out. Well, the teams are here. The officials out on the field here for tonight's game. Head coach Danny Kelly and head coach Ryan Hall. Last-minute instructions to the teams. Send it back down to Andrew once again.
Well, and it's as much as the players that are on the field for the Blast, the story is also those players that are off the field. As I look over at the Blast bench, it's another instance where we have a lot of Blast scratches of healthy about guys that are in a lot of trouble. With the Blast in terms of injuries, you have William Vanzela scratched. You have Lucas Roque scratched. Lucas, of course, done for the year. William hope to come back in the playoffs. Mike Diesel's still out with his injury. And John Orlando, the late addition, guy come on strong and had such a fantastic offensive burst for this Blast team, filling in for Lucas Roque's injury. He is down with a foot injury. He's hoping to be back in a couple weeks. And then Jonathan Greenfield, the new addition. He's not on the team yet. Hopes to join this week. But right now, that Blast bench looking very, very strong with injured players sitting on it. And it's enough to see if the Blast, who won in Syracuse 5-4 with a short roster will be able to do it again tonight.
All right, it's time for the opening kick, and we're underway here at CQ Arena. And notice that the Blast tonight are playing in pink uniforms. These unis being auctioned off here at the CQ Arena tonight to raise money to combat breast cancer.
Undoubtedly great stuff, and right off the bat you see Andrew Coughlin with a mistake, this short arena, and we'll talk about that more. Steve, this is your first time seeing it, a three-line pass, and the Blast get a restart in the Syracuse end.
Healy will take it, send it right down in the corner. Shot in the drive by Pereira is off the mark. As Coughlin maintains the far side. Right back in is Pereira. Takes it off the far boards and will play it back to Healy. Yeah, here we are in the tight confines of CQ Arena. And the Blast undefeated here at home through 8 played in Towson University's CQ Arena.
Gary
We're back
Stein
with
and
Healy right now.
Gary
Healy will
Stein
start
and I
to
like
play
to
it up
mention.
down the middle. Healy over the side. Turn around from Dantas and a nice save by Coughlin.
You mentioned undefeated at home, undefeated lifetime. Gary and I like to mention this is the greatest home field advantage in sports history so far.
Syracuse looking to play out of its own end. And Coughlin off the boards. And a little adjustment, I would think, here through this first period. As here's Dos Santos inside. And the ball up into the stands. Looks like restart Blast. And a set piece here on the offensive end. So play it right back to Capinos. As Andrew mentioned, 2 games. This is 3rd in uniform tonight. Get over for the injured William Vanzela. And Joey threw 2, allowed 7 goals total. 24 total saves has Lloyd Nascimento. Just got rolled.
Bo Yelovak coming in there. That's 2 big guys colliding.
By the captain there, Yelovak. All right, ball played down into the far corner, and that's Dos Santos. Double team, then is able to get it off in the middle. Dos Santos right back, takes the shot, and it is just off the mark. Far pipe feed back in, and whether it was Dos Santos was there or not, Nascimento played it for the opportunity for Adriano.
2 real good looks there for the Blast, and just couldn't get the foot on it to knock it in.
Blast set up on the defensive side as Forbes will send it back and allow Syracuse to get set up. Here's Ben Raymond. Last night, 2 goals against Cedar Rapids. Blocked in front there by Hoxie, but can't control. Coughlin will play back. Schindler, a longtime stalwart for this team. And now in trouble is Coughlin as Hoxie creating a little bit of an issue. It's cleared by Raymond. Up ahead, quick drive and a stop made by Capinos. Nascimento playing it right back into his keeper's hands. Quick clear right down to Santana. Inside front, score! The Blast on the board. The first time tonight.
Well, that goal comes back to Joey Capinos recognizing the substitution. He gets the ball for the distribution, brings it down. The Blast do that so well. They sub off one side of the bench on the other. Andrew Hoxie got off. The distribution able to go down to an unmarked player, and then he's able to feed it across to Adriano Dos Santos. That is beautiful, brilliant soccer. You see the distribution right here, recognizing the substitution. That's Nelson Santana who was able to get on. And there's nothing Syracuse can do there. That's just numbers, and that's just the Blast having a fantastic system in place and players knowing what they're doing. Andrew Hoxie and Joey Capinos won't get assists there, but they absolutely should because both of them contributed to that goal.
So it is officially Dos Santos with his 7th goal this season and 62nd in his Blast career from Santana. Nelson's 3rd assist on the year and 6th in his few years here. Blast with a 1-0 lead here with that goal. 3:20 has 2:27 into that first quarter and an early 1-0 lead here on the home floor. As it's played in quickly by Yelovak. Back out onto the foot of Ubi Parapovitz. Played here near boards. And on over to Thompson. Thompson back to his keeper as they get a substitution in, bring Raymond in. Boy, Ben Raymond's got ties within this league. His brother in the league office and his father a partial owner of the squad is the Blast with the takeaway. And here's De Oliveira looking to bring it in to the middle. Oh, it's cleared in front off the boards and just not able to be picked up by Santana. Close call there for the Blast.
It's the second missed opportunity for the Blast so far this game, where they had the ball open in front of an empty net and just about an inch away from getting a foot on it. But great early opportunities for the Blast.
You're right, Andrew. Just caught that corner and just caught Nelson just a little out of place. All right, ball played up off that board. Donatelli doesn't have it to be Popovich. Over to his teammate. Over on the side, and nice block in front. His ball loose and headed in by Syracuse. Oh, the Blast had a tough time in trying to corral and clear and couldn't do so. And Syracuse ties the game at 1.
Well, Joey Capinos not happy with the officiating there, as he felt he was interfered with trying to go back on the ball. And we'll see here in the replay in a second. Here it comes. So he makes the initial save as Pat Healy goes down. He makes the initial save. It pops up. And then he's held down there, and I guess he was arguing that he was held down. I don't know. I think that's a tough play, but it's not hockey. He's not allowed to make contact there. They were both going for the ball, and just bad luck for the Blast as that rebound found the head of Ubi Parapovic.
All right, so with that goal, game tied at 1. It's the Blast on the offensive end. Dos Santos plays it over far side. Can't be controlled right away by Mello. Is able to regain with Thompson harassing him and send it into the corner. And as De Oliveira tried to play it out.
That was a nifty little chip forward, and it almost worked for him. Thompson tried to side heel it forward as he was running by. Ball bounced on him a little bit on the turf here, and he almost got away with it. He was about 6 inches away from catching that board and getting a nice run there.
They'll pull the ball. Capinos will play it down to Dantas. He's able to elude the double, bouncing off the boards, and work it back once again. Set one more time. We're 4:45 into the first quarter here at CQ Arena, tied at 1.
I know this is your first time watching here at this new arena. It's been funny, even though the scoring's been up here and this small arena it creates scoring opportunities. We've generally seen that the first quarters here have been low scoring. Usually they're 1-1, 2-2. We talked about the goalies in the open, 2 of the best goaltenders in the league going against each other. And here we are early, couple scoring opportunities, a 1-1 game already. And that'll be a 3-line violation for the Blast as Vinny Dantas just about 6 inches away from getting his head on it.
All right, so the Silver Knights will play. Set up the set piece here, off the free kick. And here's Schindler. Well, they go ahead and spread 2 wide either side. Schindler plays it down, Boudreau into the corner. He'll take the shot. Capinos to the denial right on the near pipe. Dantas picks it up off the bench side boards. And Rayleigh will work it back over to the middle. Right back in off the boards. Nascimento takes the shot and scores!
Another substitution goal for the Blast. Nascimento gets the step on the break towards the goal because he comes off on a substitution and the defensive player could not get over to mark him. Two times now the Blast bench has earned a goal with just a beautiful run by Nascimento coming off the bench. And we'll see in the replay, he comes off and it's hard to mark somebody coming off in the middle of the field. And all Nascimento needed there was a couple steps. He got free, was able to put a little move on the goaltender. Here, you see him breaking free off the bench, had room to cut back across, and now here, what are you going to do? You got a guy with the ball in the box. It's almost impossible for Coughlin to make that save.
Beautiful job at time by Nascimento. His 6th goal this year, and matter of fact, just scored in that last game, and I'll give him a couple in a row, and since he scored. The assist that time by Jonathan Mello, his 12th and 2nd leading assister on the team here so far through 16 games, 12 on the season, and 31 now in his Baltimore Blast career. 2-1 Blast, 3 goals here in the opening 5:33 of the first quarter.
So we were just talking about it, Steve, and after watching games for so many years down at the First Mariner Royal Farms Arena, Baltimore Arena, Baltimore Civic Center, and all its names. What do you think about seeing the games here in this new, smaller space? I mean, obviously the arena itself is gorgeous, but what do you think about the style of play?
Quicker action. You don't have to worry about playing back. You can't use your skill to get back on the defensive side because that ball's there in a heartbeat. Watching these guys try to work the corners here, and especially the three-line pass. Boy, that's a tough one when they have to make that kind of adjustment on a field like this. A left foot by Ubi Parapovic, and easily played by the Blast. Capinos will deliver down the left side, and that's to Donatelli. Can't get control. Nice defense played by Syracuse. One more offering this time, and it's to the captain. Here's Yelovec. Will he keep it on the right foot? Oh, right off the near pipe to our broadcast location. And it will be goalkeeper distribution here for the Blast. Well, there he is in goal, and that was Joey Capinos, and Joey from Massachusetts. Gonna fill in for one of the best in the league, William Vanzela. We'll have William join us here at halftime. Talk a little more about what's going on with him, how he's healing up, and what he's seeing out of the team in his absence.
Yeah, it's going to be neat to get a chance to talk to him. I got a second to talk to him before the game. He's down here on the bench, moving a little bit better than he was a couple weeks ago, but obviously still a little giddy up in his step. And we're going to talk to him, see where he's at with the rehab and whether or not he expects to be back. And wow, this will be called as a ball restart here, and it'll be also the officials' timeout here.
All right, illegal procedure called. It's timeout on the field. We'll send it into our first timeout of the game. It's 2-1 Blast here on MASL TV.
Nothing feels better than when my Megabank treats me like a number.
Burned out by poor Megabank service? Life's better when you seek you. With a smile. With a friend. Any way you need. And wherever life takes you. So, do you seek you?
Stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion and strength of a name and the security of the cross and shield, obstacles become openings. As we have for more than 75 years, we'll continue to light the way, using our knowledge to create new healthcare solutions, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. Live fearless.
Steve Stauffberg and Andrew Primrose back with you here from CQ Arena. And it is time for the kick from the top of the arc here is Forbes. Send it over right side, and it's blocked in front. Yelovec shot.
2 blocks on there is Dantas and Mello getting by, I'm sorry, De Oliveira both getting blocks on that series for the Blast. And good job stopping a dangerous restart.
All right, Healy heads it back out. Forbes knocks it down at the yellow line. Syracuse is set up. Toby on back to Ubi Parapovic. Plays it down, and Healy is right there. Boy, last time that Blast and Syracuse played, just a few weeks ago. How about Pat Healy's 8 blocks in that game? With that one up at the War Memorial Arena in Syracuse.
Vinny Dantas down on the floor.
He and Forbes came together to check out Dantas. Vinny came into this game with 24 total points, 15 and 9 on the season. Take a look again. The 2 guys just came together. Oh, and well, you can see that Dantas actually just ran into the shoulder of not Forbes, but that might have been Yelovec.
I think that is a gentleman's injury, so we tend to refer to it.
Right back in play. Toby doing his best to keep it in the offensive end. Here's Forbes. Forbes plays it back to Thompson. Thompson uses the board, takes the drive. Capinos right there, and then right there to scoop it up. Distribution up top to Hoxie. Here's Andrew into the corner, trying to fight through the double team. Now taken away by the Silver Knights. Can't clear us. Dos Santos right there at the yellow line. They Adriano Dos Santos. I love seeing that guy in his 8th year here with the Blast. It's Capinos. Looks down into the corner. Hoxie, all 6'4", tries to play it off the boards. Denied by Coughlin. His distribution knocked down by Rayleigh, and the Blast will regroup. 5:50 to play here in the first quarter. It's Blast 2, Silver Knights 1.
Smart little play from Hoxie to let that ball go through. Jeremy Rayleigh at position. Now he's got it down on the boards with Peruzzi, 2-on-2, and Hoxie in front of the goal.
You're right, Peruzzi pulls it out. Back over the side, Donatelli through 2, has still control, takes the shot and scores! What a beautiful one from number 11, Tony Donatelli, and the Blast with a 2-goal lead.
Fantastic effort there from Tony Donatelli as he lost the ball, won it back, down on his back, got it back over, had Andrew Hoxie over on the line. Looked like maybe he was going to try and pass it there. Instead, took the shot himself. And as we see here on the replay, the ball comes across. Donatelli loses it here for a second as he comes across, fights back through it, nice slide tackle. Thought maybe he was going to pass a wide open Hoxie. Instead, he goes across the net and beats Coughlin far side for the goal, and a fantastic individual effort from Tony Donatelli.
There's Tony Donatelli, your leading point scorer here on the team with a sweet goal. They give the assist to Peruzzi. You just watched Tony Donatelli work his magic. 3-1 Blast. Boy, game opportunity there by Liam Callahan. Syracuse able to retain possession.
Nifty little tackle from Nelson Santana there. It was close to being a foul on a card, but he did just enough to get the ball and not contact.
All right, Blast will play it down. As working inside that time was Tavernisi. Definitely one of the best players on this team. And Capinos inside as Tavernisi got double team boxed out from playing that ball off the boards. Nice job by the Blast defense. Let Baltimore regroup. 4:20 to go here in this first quarter.
One thing I've been very impressed with Joey Capinos so far in his Blast time is his distributions. He's done really, really well playing on the small side. He's got great arm strength, and he's done really good with those low line drive passes that are just short of the 3 line. And he's really given the Blast offense some opportunities on quick restarts, getting the ball down the field in the corner.
All right, foul called on Forbes, and Blast free kick here.
Dos Santos lurking on the far side, kind of uncovered there. See if he can get the ball through to him. He's open.
Pereira and Dantas up top. They'll play it off the boards. Oh, and it was there for a moment for Pereira. Now, a 3-on-1 break. Play over to Forbes. Capinos comes out and takes the ball away. Before he could get the true shot off, Capinos right there to force it out of play. And a restart on a set piece here for Syracuse. You're just talking about Capinos, Andrew. Oh, and he did get that shot off. Played the right angle.
Yeah, Capinos, then that's a heck of an effort right there as the Blast were on the short end of a 3-1 break. And Capinos up to the task there.
Back
He's
to live action as Forbes shot blocked in front by Mello. And sent out of play. Syracuse with the kick in and they'll reset. Boy, we have watched this Blast team tonight with these 3 early goals in their matchup here back in November. Everybody's getting used to the CQ Arena. A 7-6 win for the Blast back 2.5 months ago.
That's a 3-line, Coughlin.
And no doubt about that, and I don't know any arena that wouldn't have been a 3-line call.
He thought he was getting far enough. He was trying to get up there, and it was just a mistake as he was looking downfield, saw the opportunity, and was about 3 feet away from getting across the line. A mistake on his part.
All right, so Donatelli take this kick, offered by Dantas. No, shot there by
Juan Pereira.
It was saved by Coughlin, and then Syracuse right back. Thompson's shot. He had 1 goal last night. There, Dantas trying to go through 2. Has a bit of an angle. Still on top of it, and it's denied once he hit the keeper, Coughlin.
That was a tank running down the field.
Nice save there by Capinos. And the Blast just look to clear and regroup.
I think Syracuse wants to regroup. This has been end-to-end action on both sides, and Hoxie there as he slid across, and he knew it right away. He was reaching for the ball. That's a long leg to try and reset.
Kick here for the Silver Knights.
You teased this earlier in the intro, Steve, as we mentioned the Syracuse Silver Knights and the referees here. That was in doubt a little bit. It's a big snowstorm, ice storm up in Syracuse, and there were some travel issues. I heard from the official that he said there were 6 inches of ice in downtown Syracuse. And so a little bit of travel issues for both of them as they had to come down. The officials coming from Syracuse, and of course the team as they played there last night. So for the Syracuse Silver Knights, they came in last night. They came in by bus. They didn't arrive until 3:30 this morning. They checked into the hotel, and so they had about a 2-hour delay getting out of town, getting across. Then once they got through upstate New York, they kind of cleared out a little bit. But for them, didn't get in until 3:30. The officials took the other path. They ended up coming in this morning and not arriving until about 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So getting in around here the same time that you and I did, Steve, coming in from Syracuse this morning to get here. So travel nightmares playing the back end of that home and away series for Syracuse, and we'll see what it does to their legs after having to spend all that time in the vans.
That's right. First quarter, A-OK. We'll see what happens as they get going through into quarters 3 and 4. Out of the goalkeeper distribution, blast down into the offensive zone. Here's Rayleigh playing it back at midfield. Take it over far side for Dos Santos. Play it back and see if he can set up. Down low. For the blast is Santana. See if they can play it in to Nelson or not. Look it right back to Dos Santos. Mello, they'll rotate. Nascimento back, and Peruzzi. Here in the last minute of this first quarter. Talsi. Peruzzi will take that shot. That'll be keeper distribution for the Syracuse Silver Knights. Now, my own comment, Andrew, off of your story, is hearing about 6 inches of ice. For Baltimore, that would be 3 days off. For Syracuse,
at a minimum,
it delays us a couple hours in driving. All right, Ubi Parapovich.
Oh,
got a
look at
shot
that
in
shot.
the corner. Just missed. Nail in that top right corner. As the blast shot denied in front. 30 seconds to go. Here's Forbes as he plays it over to Jelinek. Jelinek picked up quickly by Nascimento. Jelinek not going in with us. Nascimento take it away. 2-man break against 3 defenders. Pereira plays it back wisely. 10 seconds left here in the quarter. Haley hanging out here on the near boards. There's Pat as he'll send it deep with 3 seconds left. 2 as time winds down, and our first quarter has come to an end. It's Baltimore 3 and Syracuse 1 here on the MASL Game of the Week. This is MASL TV.
It's a great time to be a fan when you can come into Buffalo Wild Wings and catch the best moments in sports. Unlike in Roman times, when you could become the sport.
Is this section G?
I don't know.
I don't know. Ow.
Get the ultimate sports experience at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, Don, what's going on?
Jack, you haven't heard, the new building's done. It's beautiful. We moved in, and to celebrate this month, every car is posted on the internet at Invoice. You keep the rebates, and we give you 125% of Kelley Blue Book. In addition, free loaner cars, car washes, manicures for the ladies, indoor patios, outdoor patios. What could be better?
Jack says yes to invoice pricing on Corollas. Jack says yes to invoice pricing on RAV4s. Jack says yes to invoice pricing on Camrys.
Yes!
Visit Antwerp and Toyota today.
Stouffberg, Andrew Primrose. We're back here from the CQ Arena in Towson, Maryland, just outside the Baltimore city limits. It is the Baltimore Blast 3 and the Syracuse Silver Knights 1. The Blast came into this game with a first place record of 13-2 in the Eastern Division, and boy, playoffs are just that important now that we're down to into the second half of the season. Our first quarter, 4 goals and 3 for the Blast right now. Andrew, let me recap. As just 2:27 into the first quarter, it was the Blast on the board with Adriano Dos Santos goal and assisted by Nelson Santana. 1-1, Syracuse tied it up just a minute and a half later as Slav Ubi-Parapovic scored with Tavernisi on the assist. And with that, it was a 1-1 score. Blast made it 2-1 just a minute and a half after that. So 5 and a half into the first quarter, it was 2-1 as the Blast score that time with Marco Nascimento. The assist from his teammate, Jonathan Mello. Blast third goal, courtesy of Tony Donatelli with a highlight-type goal as he eluded 3 men on the way in for the score. Peruzzi on the assist. Our first quarter, Andrew, let me give some stats as well for the Blast. 3 goals on just 5 shots. Yet Joey Capinos with 7 saves in that first quarter and allowing only 1 goal to the Syracuse Silver Knights. They had 10 shots on goal. They had 10 shots, pardon, with the 7 saves by Capinos and the 1 goal allowed throughout that first quarter. So get this second quarter to begin. Tell me what you heard down on the field there as Hoxie comes in. Save made by Coughlin.
Wow, quick opportunity there for the Blast. That ball came really close. This will be a 3-line violation mistake there from Capinos as he was trying to win it. And unfortunately, it came across. So for the Blast, I mean, they're up 3-1, but they're certainly not comfortable. They know what this Syracuse team is capable of. They know this is a good team, and they know they're probably going to play a close game. I think for the Blast, what you don't want to do with a team with tired legs is let them stay in the game. If you're the Blast, you want to keep the pressure on. You want to get up a couple goals and want to put them away. So for the Blast, a lot of enthusiasm is right there. Here it is, a 1-goal game.
That Syracuse score off that set piece there.
Looks like it was Bordeaux that got the goal in here. As we'll see on the restart, it comes across. The Blast do a good job of making a stop here, but Bordeaux just settles it, has too much time. The Blast don't close out on that, and Nate Bordeaux with the goal. And now here we are. Again, the Blast not comfortable. There is no lead safe in this arena.
Bordeaux's goal off of the restart by Schindler, and a 3-2 Blast lead. Blast right down on the offensive end. Here's Santana in the corner. He'll send it back Healy. Right in front, Mello, and he's denied by Coughlin. Loose ball, and here comes Forbes. Forbes up on it. Nascimento almost had it. Loose ball, 50-50 for these guys, and Mello, it's forced to the ground. It'll be a foul on Syracuse.
Both teams doing a really good job of stepping in front of passes at midfield today, and that's created some quick offensive turnaround. And right there for the Blast, 2 times they stepped in front, stopped it, and turned it into an offensive opportunity before the foul.
All right, Blast looked to regroup after Mello shot off the mark, and Thomas played it back. Allow Capinos to start the action. Mello can't catch up, and a loose ball. Ubi-Parapovic up at the outer arc to Forbes. Forbes tries to take the shot, blocked in front, Nascimento. Schindler keeps possession here. Ubi-Parapovic, his shot, another save, Capinos. And boy, he continues to find that ball in front of the cage, Andrew.
He's doing a fantastic job right now. He's flying all over the place. He's a smaller goaltender than William Vanzela, and so you see him fly a little bit. He moves a little bit further than William has to with his lack of size, but he's doing a fantastic job right now stepping in for what I believe is the best goaltender in this league, far and away.
Boudreau back to Forbes. Forbes has it blocked in front. Altered the shot towards the corner. Blast now trying to play it into the corner as Mello. And gets redirected by Schindler, and he can't believe that there was anything to it.
Yeah, Schindler and Mello, that's a little bit of a size difference right there between the two. Mello was trying to go around, and Schindler put the shoulder down, and he went into the boards hard. And he's lucky he was in a couple steps behind there, as the corner of the glass was not far away from him, and that would have hurt a lot more.
All right, blast off the restart. Here's the ball played in to the Oliveira. And offered to no one. Here's a shot. Boy, just off the mark, off the pipe.
That could have been a handball on Vinny Dantas, but not called.
That was Tavernisi with the offering, and that man sneaky good. 38 points coming into this game. 19 and 19 before his assist tonight. So I guess give him 19 and 20 so far. All right, it'll be goalkeeper distribution here for Syracuse. 12:40 to go in the second quarter. You're watching the Baltimore Blast on MASL TV. Catch every game each week here on the league's official streaming home, MASL.TV. Coughlin plays it off the boards, able to get it down to Yelovec. Yelovec off the board in front, and it's cleared away by Rayleigh.
Nice job by Rayleigh there to get his foot in front, not redirecting the goal. That was a dangerous instance for Jeremy there, as he was in front of the ball. His body was carrying him back towards the goal. Good job to get his foot in front and angle it so that it kicked back out instead of knocking it in.
All right, Syracuse sets up. And here's Ubi Parapovits. Quick offering in front, up to Forbes. Forbes blocked in front by Hoxie. This ball, here's Callahan, quick to swoop in, reclaim possession. Ball played down into the corner for Yelovec. Here's Rayleigh right on top of him. He'll start to push it into the corner. Nice double there by Hoxie. Loose ball played back to Toby. We're 3 minutes into the second quarter. Baltimore Blast 3, Syracuse Silver Knights 2. Steve Stoffberg, Andrew Primrose with you on the call of tonight's video stream. Gary Stein and Paul Mittermeier will be back with you for that next home game, which is 3 games away for the Blast. They've got 3 on the road before coming back here to the CQ Arena on the final weekend. The 23rd and 24th back-to-back games to close out their home regular season schedule. We'll talk playoffs in a little while, as there's something to play for tonight, but there's no clinching of anything tonight, and Andrew will fill you in more a little later on. Syracuse is working to try to set something up. Here's Raymond. Raymond leaves it for Tavernisi, and Tavernisi getting played tough by Rayleigh. Ball sent down. Oh, my goodness, as it just sailed over the crossbar.
That was a nice thought there by Donatelli, as Coughlin was caught up early on his line, and if Donatelli had been able to get that back down just a little bit more, he would have had his second goal of the night.
Oh, quick opportunity here. Schindler. And Schindler couldn't find that angle to send it in on Cage. Play it back to Yelovec. As Pereira plays tough. Juwan and Nelson up front here for the Blast. Before Mello comes up to get his guy Callahan. Play it down on the right side. And here's Healy marking Yelovec. What a matchup between those two guys. Play down here to the near corner. Schindler. Raymond off the mark.
That was a smart little play from Raymond there, as he got really close to getting that far corner with a great shot.
Nice play as Mello comes swooping in with the takeaway, and the save made by Coughlin. Mello in front, tries to turn it around. Can't do so, as Coughlin was able to steer Mello's momentum in a different direction. Ball down into the corner, and a foul called on Yelovec, and he's making his displeasure well known.
Well, he's upset, but he almost undressed Pat Healy. He pulled his jersey down to about his knees. It's kind of an easy call to make if you're an official and you watch jerseys stretch that far.
Schindler, play it right back up to Yelovec. His drive off the mark. Pass back and allow Syracuse to regroup. Blast up front. There's Dantas and Pereira. Now here's a shot. Forbes, he almost had the right angle. Escapinos, Healy off the board, can't clear. Forbes settles it for Boudreau. Boudreau in front, as Tavernisi couldn't play it to his teammate, and Capinos right there.
And again, a great restart for Capinos. It was an ugly looking throw, but he gets it down and gave Vinny an opportunity to break down the boards. And again, all of this offense coming from Joey Capinos. Wow, is the call made from all the way across the field, as the senior official saw it from this side. and makes the call from all the way across the field with the official right in front there on the near side.
Never did give the officials tonight if it's the same crew as last night's game, like you said. Referee Ramiro's Cruz, Eduardo Hernandez, the assistant referee, and the blast inside Donatelli can't bring it home for the blast. Fourth official tonight, senior referee is Brian Miller, and the fourth official, Brendan Malarkey Jr. .8:40 to go here in the second quarter. Ball played back to Peruzzi. Peruzzi now blocked in front by Raymond. That ball out of bounds. So blast on the restart. Peruzzi back to De Oliveira. Far corner, Hoxie. Hoxie now back. De Oliveira, his shot is just wide. Now sent right back in. And Peruzzi not able to play it clean. Ubi Parapovic's up with it. Syracuse looked to clear. Hoxie playing tough on Toby.
And the Blast just switched to man defense, going pressure high up on the goalie. That'll give, and then you see it right here as Dos Santos almost throws Yelovak off over the boards. That's what Jim ready to say is that's going to give Syracuse an opportunity if they can break the pressure to get the ball down the field real quick. And they did there as Dos Santos and Yelovak matched up size on size.
Let's reset here in the second quarter, almost midway through the second. As the Blast fall back on D. Donatelli. Up top, there's, and on the pursuit, De Oliveira. Hoxie playing up top as well. Peruzzi down low. All right, here's Ubi Parapovich. Play it back to his keeper, Andrew Coughlin. He is their regular keeper. 5.5 goals allowed per game. We've got a breakdown on the floor, and we'll step aside as well. It's Baltimore 3, Syracuse 2. This is MASL TV. Blast 3, Silver Knights 2. Steve Stoffberg and Andrew Primrose back with you here during that media timeout. Andrew Primrose down on the field. Andrew, what do you got?
Well, I mean, we knew it was going to be a one-score game. I mean, this game's playing out exactly like you would expect. Andrew Coughlin, a couple of those struggles early on with distributions, but playing his usual excellent self and goal. And Joey Capino stepping in, playing very adequate. And now the Blast are fighting here as the ball has now come back across, and it's behind the yellow line for the Blast, which is a big mistake here as the Blast now forced on the restart to change. With the ball being behind the yellow line, they can't do 3 lines. So that's a big break for Syracuse. That ball moved back about 4 or 5 feet, and that changes things pretty dramatically.
Yeah, Healy couldn't play it down to anyone in particular. It's Tavernisi off the boards and not picked back up. Yellow line right now, and here's Schindler over to Boudreau. Boudreau with a goal earlier in this game. It's goal number 2 as they opened up that second quarter. Ball play back to Syracuse. Here's Callahan. Move it to Coughlin. Santana in pursuit. Here comes Raley to crash down, and not quite there. Oh, over on the sideboard there, Pereira. going hard against Callahan. Pereira now able to gain control. Blast possession on that 50-50. Here's Mello. In down to Santana. Santana will roll it up topside and leave it for Dos Santos. Going with a line change right now is Capinos. Will play it back over. Raley sends it across. Dantes out on the floor right now. Here comes Vinny. Vinny shot short of the cage. Drew back to Coughlin.
With this high pressure. The Blast bench screaming for the Blast players to get on, press high and early. And seeing the struggles that Coughlin has had with the distributions, and now I want to give him time to think about it.
All right, Mello coming up here left side. Down to Dantes. Dantes' shot. Save made by Coughlin.
Syracuse will make changes.
Here's Raymond, play it over, Ubi Parapovic, leave it for Forbes. Forbes' a shot, not there, and then a nice clear by the Blast. Bring it off to the side because Ubi Parapovic was ready to fire away. That was Dos Santos with a nice foot to send it over towards the bench side of things. Capinos right on top of it in his crease. Blast 3, Silver Knights 2. It was a 3-1 lead through the first quarter. Silver Knights scored in the first 16 seconds of this second. And now ball off the boards to Toby, who throws it in with authority. Nice shot by Darren Toby. Off of that feed by, boy, what a talented player in Canardo Forbes. Syracuse is tied it at 3.
Well, Forbes gets the ball up there. And we'll see it as it comes across. Ball bounces off, hits the angle just a little bit. And Toby, that's just great body control to keep his foot behind the ball there. Not sky. You have a tendency in a shot like that to get underneath it and sky it. He did a really good job of keeping his body behind the ball and then allowing his foot to drive over top of it. And that's a tough shot. It's harder than it looks to have the body control to do that. And it's a beautiful finish from him as Capinos now forced to go up to midfield with his distribution.
Andrew, I'll just say I had no doubt that it was a tough shot to bring home. Hey, by the way, I meant to ask, the Blast unis here tonight being auctioned off to raise money for breast cancer research. I'm guessing there's nobody on the field that wears a 3XL. I'd like to bid on one to wear, but I'm just doubting that there's anybody who sports that. Is Donatelli in. And Coughlin with the save.
I can think of a couple guys historically that have played here that maybe had that, but I don't think anybody on the roster now.
All right, inside, here's Schindler. They'll play it across the field. It'll be Parapovic. Couldn't get it on that left foot.
Nice block there from Tony Donatelli as he lays down low and gets that hockey block.
All right, Blast opportunity here. Dantes, drive denied by Raymond. Vinny keeps it alive, sends it through the crease and just out of the reach of Dos Santos. Donatelli tried to control, and will be kick in Blast after the last touch by Syracuse.
So you saw there, I don't know if you saw the ball bounce down. It was an awkward angle, came all the way back behind the Blast bench.
With a back foot and the rebound, score for the Blast. Andrew off that set piece, Donatelli, and right there with the back foot was D'Olivera, but it was Hoxie to clean up off the rebound, and the Blast retake the lead.
I think D'Olivera's a little mad. He had the beautiful shot there, and he doesn't get the goal as Hoxie picks up the trash. Well done for Andrews. He's in the right position. You see Donatelli with the restart. It comes across. D'Olivera with the nice back heel shot. It's a beautiful little play, and then Hoxie just picks up the garbage there right in front as he gets Coughlin's rebound.
All right, for Andrew, his 10th goal this season. He's made it in the double digits. 42 in his Baltimore Blast career. It's just his third year with the team. Going to have a foul called against Syracuse. That assist, by the way, well, it goes to D'Olivera. It was the last to touch. That little back heel direction off the boards. That came off the boards. Stop made by Coughlin and Hoxie right there. Johnny on the spot to bring it home, 4-3.
Blast wanted a penalty there on that foul on DeLiviero as he had a run going, and it was pulled from behind, but did not get the call. They got the foul call instead, and now they've lost possession off the restart.
All right, off the board, playing hard for it
And
was
there it is.
Oliveira. There's Thompson, and the blue card's out.
So 2 fouls in a row, and DeLiviero is holding his ankle as that comes across.
Take a look at this one again. And I guess he has to have known that he was coming. Did Thompson. But into the sin bin he goes. Patrick Thompson, 5'11", 155, Norfolk, Virginia. The guy in his 14th game here this season. He actually scored a unassisted goal in that final 4 minutes that ultimately put that game out of reach last night with their game up at Syracuse. Power play opportunity here for the Blast. Donatelli tries to center, can't do so. Dos Santos in the middle. Healy back to Mello. Mello bring it over to Dantas. His shot is just wide.
How did that miss the back of the net?
Healy right back here, Dos Santos. Adriano sends it back to Pat. Over to Mello. Right side to Vinny. Vinny right back to Jonathan. Jonathan send it back to Dantas. In front, and it's taken off the leg by Schindler, and Coughlin right there, and I think he just swept the forehead with a sigh of relief. Blast making him work here on this power play opportunity. Still 1:10 left in the 2-minute call against Thompson. Tripping the call. 1:05 officially left with the extra man out on the floor.
For the Blast power play, it's Healy, Dantas, Mello, Dos Santos, and Donatelli, the regular contingent out on the field.
All right, back to Healy. Healy now, Dantas. Off Coughlin. Donatelli the follow, not there. Vinny plays it back out to Healy. 40 seconds left in the power play. Here's Donatelli.
No panic in this group. They know they have 30 seconds left, and they'll keep working the ball around.
All right, Dantas back up to Healy. Healy now. He'll work to Vinny. Vinny shot blocked in front by Tavernisi. Here's Healy. Donatelli, and it's blocked by Schindler. Blast looking for the right angle and haven't found the avenue yet to the goal. 10 seconds left in the power play. See if they can get off one more opportunity. Syracuse playing a tight box in the middle. And this time off Toby and into the crowd. So restart here for the Blast with just 4 seconds left on the power play.
Kind of surprised the Blast aren't calling a timeout here to look at this restart.
All right, Mello on the restart. Donatelli and Dantas up top. Dos Santos far side to where Mello is, and Healy back. They can feed to Donatelli. Donatelli can't get it clean in front. Dos Santos, far side Donatelli. He settles, and shot is denied by Coughlin. Here comes Healy big, and Raymond right in off of that penalty clear, and is able to send it down the field. We're back to full strength, and Silver Knights have killed off that penalty.
Fantastic job by the Silver Knights there. Escape that. Stay in this game.
All right, 4-3 favor the Blast. Donatelli working against 2.
1 minute left now in the half, and just a reminder, coming up at halftime, William Vanzela, the injured Blast goaltender, will join me down in the field, talk about his rehab, how it's going, whether he expects to be back for the playoffs, and what he's seeing from his now backup starting now, Joey Capinos. So join us at halftime for that interview.
Definitely looking forward to that, Andrew. Final 35 seconds here of the quarter. And Donatelli's able to play it out. Dantas tries to get on top of it. Toby the clear back. Here's Raymond and Pereira. Jawan. Thought he might have the takeaway. Syracuse with the kick in here from close to midfield. 26 seconds to play in this quarter. The Blast gave up a quick goal to start the second quarter. Still lead by 1. Ultimately, Syracuse tied it up, but the Blast come back with a goal off of a sweet set play that was started off by Donatelli. It ended up off the back heel of De Oliveira. and brought home by Hoxie. Distribution all the way down the field to Capinos. 12 seconds left here in the quarter. Blast one opportunity here. As playing that far side and pulled down by Yelovec was Pereira. 3 seconds left in 2. Long shot, and it's denied in front as we've hit the half with the Blast leading 4-3. Up a goal through 2 quarters of play. And as Andrew pointed out, the interview with William Vanzela coming up here at the half. Again, Baltimore Blast 4, Syracuse Silver Knights 3. Steve Stoffberg and Andrew Primrose. We've hit halftime here on the MASL Game of the Week. This is MASL TV.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Steve Stockberg back with you here. Andrew Primrose down on the field right now. Our score, Baltimore 4 and Syracuse 3. Andrew Primrose down on the field right now. We'll talk with William Vanzela in just a moment after presentations here. And I'll hit some halftime stats right now as the Blast with 16 shots to 19 for Syracuse, but it's been Capinos with 8 saves so far in this first half and 7 for Syracuse. 4-3 Baltimore. And Andrew Primrose down on the field right now. It looks like he's got William Vanzela down for the interview. Andrew.
Thanks, Steve. Just sitting here with William Vanzela down on the Blast bench. William, I know you a little bit. I know this isn't the most comfortable thing for you to be sitting here watching this game. Blast fans want to know, why don't you talk a little bit about the injury? What happened to you? We saw it here 2 home games ago. And then tell us how you're feeling as well.
Yeah, first of all, I hate that I'm being interviewed right now. I'd rather to be in the locker room, be yelled by DK because I'm not doing something right. But, you know, unfortunately things happen when you play professional sports. I pulled my groin and my abs and my abductor in a play by myself. I tore all 3 and they came out of the bone. So it was a pretty, you know, serious injury. And then who knows me knows that if I step off the field, something really major happened. So unfortunately it happened, and I felt really sorry. I'm really upset, and I can't even describe how upset I am. Physically hurts, but mentally hurts more because I want to be on the field. And that's basically what happened.
Yeah, I know, and you and I have been talking here through the injury. I know it's been killing you, but I think one thing that I could say is that you've dedicated yourself now to the rehab. You've put yourself into the rehab. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing for the rehab and how's it going?
Yeah, right now I'm on 3 sessions a day. I'm doing everything it's possible. I'm going to the pool. I'm doing rehab with Heather and MedStar. They're being Brian, they're being awesome and they're supporting me. Also, the Blast is giving me full support. The front office is being unbelievable, so it allows me to focus on my treatment. I get therapy in the morning with Heather, which is more steam, ice, and some movements. And then I go in the pool in the afternoon, and then he have at the evening where it's more activities, balance, and trying to get my muscle to respond back and see how that feels.
So as you're going through that rehab, we're looking at the playoffs coming up. Originally announced as a 6 to 8 week injury. How are you feeling for the timeline? What are you looking for in terms of coming back this season?
To be quite honest with you, I have a hope, and then I have a goal in my mind. I'm not sharing with anybody because, as the doctor said, that could be a long-term injury or it could be short. It depends how my body's going to respond. So I'm living day by day. I'm getting treatment day by day, and I'm trying to get better day by day. So I'm not thinking about playoffs. I'm thinking about be better than I was yesterday. So when the playoffs comes, I will see how I'm feeling, and then the doctors are also going to help him to make a decision if it's, you know, a healthy thing to go back in the field and help my teams. I will do, again, I'm doing everything is possible. It hurts me so much to be off the field. I'm really, you know, I can't describe how I'm feeling.
Well, I think anybody that knows you would have no doubt about it that if you can be out here and get through that rehab, you will be out here for your Blast teammates. Meanwhile, watching the game tonight, you're seeing it 4-3 game right now. We know how this goes with Syracuse, right? We always play one-score games against them. What are you seeing from your teammates out here tonight with this game?
Yeah, it's always tough when we play Syracuse. It's the kind of the games that we know most of the times are solved in the fourth quarter. So we're trying to avoid that, and I think we just need to push a little bit harder. They played last night, so they're really tired. So I think if we pressure them a little more, we can score and get some distance and maybe make them give up the game, because if the game's still tied, it's going to be until the last second.
All right, so now Joey Capinos comes in. He stepped in. We told this story a couple times now. He was sitting at home in Massachusetts watching the game, watching the stream, and then he suddenly gets a text from Kevin Healy and says, hey, you know, can I come back? You want to drive down here to Baltimore? What have you had? What kind of conversations have you had with Joey in terms of getting him ready to play here?
Yeah, so the day after I got hurt, I called him. I asked Kevin Healy his phone number. I called him. first of all, to welcome a guy that don't know our players, and you know, it's gonna be super weird to just come here and play. So, but you know, we chat a little bit about how do we play, what you know, what we like to do here and there to give him a little bit of, you know, our system and everything else. But he's been watching our games, so it made it easy. He's experienced goalie, so he knows exactly what to do already. And then it's just, you know, the time that he needs to take to get to know the players better and then, you know, adjust on our system. I mean, he's been playing well. He's getting confident, and you know, I think our team believes in him, and he's supporting us, and he's playing well. So I'm happy for him.
Right on cue as he walks back as the Blast make their way back from the locker room to get on the field. William, thank you very much. I know for all the Blast fans, we're really looking forward to seeing you back out on the field. Good luck with your rehab, and we hope to see you real soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. One more time, I want to thank you, the MedStar, for the support on my rehab, and the Blast, all the, you know, my teammates, my coaches, and the front office. They're being incredible. I miss this too much, and I will do everything as possible to be back on field and help the team to get another championship.
All right, well, thank you very much, William. Back up to you, Steve.
Thank you, Andrew. First half highlights are up on the screen right now, and well, we saw just what the Blast were able to do pretty early on. Syracuse answered right back with a goal of their own, and Ubi Parapevic right there. That was one of the few that Capinos couldn't corral in that first quarter of play. Blast continued the scoring in the first quarter. And check it out as a nice workaround by the team, and then finally finding that angle. Nascimento inside with the goal in the first quarter of play to retake the lead, 2-1. Blast then created a situation and took advantage. As you see, Donatelli work from up top and bring that ball home for a 3-1 first quarter lead for the home team. Tony Donatelli continuing another fantastic season. Open up the second quarter, and on the first set play, right there, Syracuse bringing it home to cut that deficit, their deficit, down to 1, 3-2, and then they tied it up. After a nice play by Darren Toby off the ball from Canardo Forbes. Sweet angle, 3-3. Then how about this? Off the free kick as Donatelli on the restart. De Oliveira with the back heel, but that's Hoxie with the cleanup effort. 4-3 the score here through one half of play. And we're already underway here at the CQ Arena in this third quarter. Let me run through some numbers. I'd given you a few after the three-line violation. So shots in the first half, Syracuse 19, Baltimore 16. The saves, as Capinos had 7 in the first quarter and 8 throughout the first half. 7 saves altogether for Coughlin after a tough first quarter start for the Syracuse goalkeeper. 5 blocks by Syracuse and 8 for the Baltimore Blast. 4 fouls for the Blast, and Syracuse with 7 here in the tight confines here at CQ Arena. So we're underway here in the second half of play. A nice interview there from Andrew Primrose with William Vanzela, and we're hoping for the best for William as he continues his healing ways, as that timetable should have him looking real good for the team as when the season starts to wind down into the playoff push. It reminds me that Andrew and I are going to have to talk about the playoff picture at some point. Too tight to call right now here, 4-3, and time to work with this. This game does mean something when it comes to the playoff side of things, just in that a win tonight for the Blast really does put them in position to clinch a spot sooner rather than later. Here's Rayleigh as Rayleigh works it into the corner for Hoxie. Hoxie back out to Mello as they get going here in the third quarter, and the first true possession for the Blast here to start this third. Dos Santos can't push his way past Yelovec. The captain stands tall, and the Silver Knights in control. Hoxie trying to play tough on the boards against Schindler. As Dos Santos comes in to try to double. Nascimento is able to provide the right speed bump and loosen that ball and send it back down into the corner. Andrew, I'll tell you, with your interview with Vanzela, as Moxie's able to take it into Dos Santos, back to Nascimento. You knew exactly when you had to finish the interview, as it looked like you were about ready to rejoin the team and throw a pink uniform on, sitting there on the bench.
Yeah, we kind of got it. It was funny because Capinos walked on right on cue. We started talking about him. It's like he was waiting for us. So well done by him.
A nice job, and just so glad to be able to talk to guys like that during the half. Excellent work by the production team.
And then William, you know, it's one of those ones where if it was up to William, he'd be out there now on one leg. And so, you know, with the doctors, and you hear that, and he has the proper caution in his voice, and he talks about it, even though you can watch his eyes and know it's killing him not to be out there with his brothers playing right now. But for him, you know, this is one of the best, if not the best goaltender in the league. And this is not something.
Healy had an open goal, and he brings it home. Pat Healy making the most of an opportune situation. The Blast with the first goal of this second half. 5-3 Baltimore.
We'll see here as the ball bounces through. Healy, smart recognition there as he saw Coughlin off his line. And didn't have much on the shot, but just enough to get a past Coughlin and get in the back of the net. And a big goal to open up a two-score lead for the Blast.
The two-time Defender of the Year, we know that man knows how to score. Second goal of the season, 71st in his Blast career, 10th year here with the team. An Iron Man, no doubt, until this season when he was out for a couple games. And boy, talk about a test back as you're talking about the keeper situation, Andrew, with William and Joey now in goal. It was Pat that had to do the work when William did go down. And that was Pat's first game back after that injury. It's Capinos with another save. Thompson's right foot was strong, but Joey there to deny it.
Yeah, Steve, we didn't talk about that enough, about how impressive that effort was from Healy to play winning goaltender and give up virtually only one goal that wasn't a sixth attacker goal. And then to do that with the hamstring injury, which is still affecting him a little bit, even though you didn't see it on that shot. So for Pat Healy, it was a yeoman's effort for him to not only get that the defensive or that goaltending win, but also to do it while coming back from an injury.
All right, had mentioned quickly here that Syracuse win last night, and of course what a win for the Blast would mean in getting closer to clinching a spot. Team right now 13-2 coming in, whereas the Silver Knights at 9-6, the Tropics at 8-7, and so everything's still a little too close to have that one clincher right now.
Yeah, it's interesting right now, the playoff picture, and it's funny because everybody keeps forgetting about the 22-game expanded schedule. And so right now, if it was a 20-game schedule, the Blast would be clinching tonight with a win, but now 22 games. So right now, they have 5-game lead in the loss column over the third-place team, but there's 6 to play, so not quite there to clinch yet. But for the Blast, realistically, mathematically, they're all but assured of going into the playoffs. They would have to basically lose out, and Florida and Syracuse would have to virtually win out in order for this to happen. But for the Blast, more importantly, and the more realistic thing that they're playing for right now is the new revised playoff standings or playoff system for the MASL is the one-game system for the conference and league finals.
No doubt, and of course Milwaukee, as you're about to allude to, that is a big match upset there as the Blast off that set piece, Mello in front to Hoxie. And just the opportunity wasn't there. Coughlin looked to clear, and Hoxie almost had a piece of that one. Oh, as Thomas can't corral it, neither can Mello, as Tavernisi just plays it strong through, and Rayleigh just sends it out. Andrew, 3 games in the next 4 against the Wave.
Yeah, and that's really what's going to be the difference here right now, as the Blast have a 1-game lead. If you look at Milwaukee, and of course they have to get past a very game Cedar Rapids team, and the Blast would have to get past a very good Syracuse or Florida team in their division finals. But for the conference finals, if you look at a Baltimore-Milwaukee matchup in a 1-game series, that home field advantage would be so huge. As Syracuse says, don't talk about the playoffs, we're here right now.
Man, Ubi Parapovich with a nice little slide over to Boudreau. And Boudreau just found that right angle to bring it home for Syracuse. Take a look. Just a nice right touch there. And just got Capinos looking the wrong way.
Well, it's the second time now in the restarts they've gone low across the goal and been able to beat Capinos. as Nelson Santana having some fun there with Bo Yelovach as Bo getting a little momentum.
You got it. Boudreaux with his second goal for Syracuse tonight. 5-4 the score as Donatelli looked on a turnaround and not able to bring it in. It'll be a goalkeeper distribution for Syracuse. Yeah, so there's Milwaukee Wave games. Absolutely important here in terms of that higher seed in the conference. As you were discussing, as Capino stands tall there on the pipe. Taken by Santana. He'll play it up, see if Donatelli can corral it, and he might just have it. Donatelli, right foot, and it was denied by Coughlin. So he had Coughlin guessing as to which way he might go.
Well, and unfortunately, Tony shot it right into him. I think Coughlin, I mean, he'll get the save there, and he made an athletic play, but Tony just shot it right into his leg, unfortunately.
Peruzzi. Dantas is, oh, that shot. I don't know if he was trying to play it to Donatelli or if he was looking to nail that back corner. But just off the mark. Here's Nascimento. So bring it back to Donatelli. Boy, Tony, in these games, his numbers he's put up against Syracuse. I mean, I know he's put up numbers against everybody, but his numbers against the Silver Knights here in this season have been something else. Here's Dantas as he's picked up by Toby and then worked down by Callahan. Right back. Here's Donatelli. Feed it in front. Try to go back to Donatelli. Not there. Callahan with the lead pass. Couldn't have it right there. Nascimento lost it. And now Capinos just has to come out and play it. Empty net right now. And Boudreaux save made by Capinos as he came slicing back in and was able to catch it with just a backhand. All right, still set up, though, on the defensive side. Here's Toby. As they'll sub out and bring Ubi Parapovic back on. Boy, what a play there by Capinos. Man, this guy continues to show why he belongs here in the MASL, and he's got another as he corrals it inside. Capinos right down. Love the moves from Capinos. Mello will play it back. Capinos towards his own goal. Watch out there, Joey. Is ball in the corner, and that's Tavernisi, and he's just going hard against the Oliveira. Doing that one for effect for later on. Looks like Forbes will restart from here in the corner. All right, the instruction upon where to set the one man. Here's Ubi Parapovic, and he can't keep it low. This will be a keeper distribution for the Blast. All right. Blast with a 5-4 lead here, 8:36 to play, third quarter. Blast have either had the lead in this game or have allowed the game to be tied. 5-4 score right now. These two teams have played one-goal games with the outcome favoring the Blast on both efforts. Far side, De Oliveira sends it to Thomas, but doesn't make it to him. It's off Schindler's shoulder. That's an illegal procedure. That'll give a kick in for the Blast.
It'll be top of the arc restart. It's a dangerous opportunity. The Blast get their virtually their power play team on the field along with Daniel Peruzzi.
All right, getting it set. Healy, Donatelli leaves alone. Dantas rejected by Coughlin. Ball kept alive in the corner. 50-50 for the Blast. And coming slicing in. Boy, Tavernisi just lowers that shoulder as he comes plowing through on Dos Santos. And they'll let him know what's going on.
Tavernisi and Dos Santos having a little conversation. And I tell you what, for as physical as this game has been, it's been a clean game. We've only seen one blue card. We haven't seen the two teams go at each other despite their familiarity. This has been good, clean, fun, end-to-end soccer. And this is what this size arena and this style of soccer can give us when you have two talented teams that are going head-to-head with each other.
Here's Syracuse playing it back. Toby, Raymond, and De Oliveira will get called for the foul. Oh, that's Peruzzi. Pardon. Syracuse off the restart. We're midway through the third quarter. Here's
Great job. Tony Donatelli. Fantastic job getting his foot on that and getting a partial block.
Andrew made mention before about adjusting to the 22-game schedule in terms of the playoff clinching possibilities. Ubi Parapovic plays it down to Yelovec, back out Forbes, his drive, not caught cleanly. An easy block in front by Donatelli. Near side here, Schindler. Schindler has his shot blocked by Healy in front.
Pat thought he was the goalie there. He had some flashbacks.
Pick it up by Ubi Parapovic. Yelovec off the board. Not there. Thompson couldn't bicycle kick in. But the league making an announcement just this past week. They're already going to go to 24 next year. 12 home, 12 away. And continue to add in game opportunities for fans to see their home team play.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff for the league. As not only that 24-game announcement, but also a reassessment of the scheduling, pushing it back to December 1st starting. And as we have the officials' timeout called here.
And that'll stop play with 6:20 to go here in the third quarter. It's Baltimore 5, Syracuse 4. You're watching the game of the week here on MASL TV. The Blast would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is amongst the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production back in 1817. Miter is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing the arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. Make sure you get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook, Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter. Steve Stouthberg and Andrew Primrose back with you here as the Blast Syracuse 5-4 third quarter score here is live from Towson Arena. The next game for the Blast next Saturday at Milwaukee. Battle for first place in the conference. That's a 2:05 start there. And of course the next home game is the last two regular season home games. February's 23rd and 24th. That weekend with back-to-backs. Milwaukee on the 23rd, where it's Vinny Dantas bobblehead night. And then the 24th against the Tropics, in which another legend from Baltimore Blast history will be inducted in the Blast Hall of Fame. You can still get online and vote. Voting won't close, or hasn't closed yet. And that once it's figured out who everybody wants to see, well, they'll have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on the final home regular season game, February 24th. That one against the Florida Tropics.
Do they have Paul and Gary on there yet?
I don't.
Are you eligible to vote for Paul and Gary yet?
Yes. That would be, I'd wonder who put that together, and my guess would be that must mean that either Stein or Mittermeier controls that poll.
Of course, Miss Paul and Gary out on assignment today.
Here's Thompson as he sends it, doesn't get a clean shot on Cage.
Hopefully they're watching now, able to watch out of town and enjoying the broadcast. Of course, Steve, you've worked with them for a number of years.
All right, back to Schindler. Here's Ubi Parapovic. Send it down into the far corner for Yelovec. Yelovec got double teamed. Healy just waiting to play it, but nice job by Mello crashing in. Bring that ball back out. 4:50 to play here in the third quarter. And the ball off the boards, and Mello is able to contain Hoxie with a header, but picked right back up by Syracuse. Down, Thompson, left-footed, nice drive, and the Syracuse Silver Knights have tied the game up in a lightning bolt fashion.
Well, I think we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here. Syracuse has found their spot going across Capino's face low on the far side. Third goal here now as you see it come across. They get the shot here, and it comes across from just inside the three-point line. And again, the same place now. It's 3 of his 5 goals that have beaten Capino's gone to that same place, low and outside across the goal face. That's a positioning thing, is Joey has to figure out how to cut that angle off with his body and not allow that to go past him.
It's another Ubi Parapovich assist, 3 tonight for him, and Thompson's second goal on the contest. And with that, this game tied at 5. Third time the Silver Knights have tied this game up. It was tied at 1, at 3, and now tied at 5. 4 minutes to go here, third quarter. Santana play it out to Dos Santos. Donatelli. No matter how well executed that was, boy, Andrew, we've seen 2 super highlight-worthy goals. Oh, that was a nice opportunity and a feed by Vinny. But Thomas just a step behind on catching up to that one. Dantas tries to turn around. It's blocked in front by Callahan. Peruzzi picks it up. Wants to leave it for the keeper, but Raymond in deep. Callahan with a bit of the takeaway, and now the loose ball down into the corner. And if Peruzzi could have caught up, Dantas was right there in the middle.
Yeah, bad break for the Blasters. They had 3-on-1 if Peruzzi could have gotten to that ball.
Here's Healy over to Donatelli. Settles with the right. Raymond in front. Nice block. Quick clear by Tavernisi. As Nascimento is able to control. Tries to catch the feed to Tony, but Raymond right there once again. Loose ball and allow for a sub as Peruzzi will play it back to Healy. Healy will send it far side Mello. There's Dantas. Left it for Mello, but didn't have his eye on the ball and overshot the quick drop. Pereira now by the scorer's bench. Pereira in off the boards. Too high for De Oliveira. Boy, Pereira comes slicing back in and caught it clean. No call on the play. Callahan able to pop right back up after suffering what looked like a big knee injury. De Oliveira back midfield. De Oliveira looking for the ball down in the Hoxie. Hoxie left corner. Far side, and Toby's got a mark. Hoxie will play it back. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Big drive, and De Oliveira a little too high. Syracuse possession. This game tied at 5. Andrew, we've seen a lot here in the third quarter.
It's Elton Oliviero comes back over across to the bench, and I think the Blast bench a little unhappy with that shot choice from him, as that was not a very Blast-like shot from far out with no angle. And usually those shots end up in just changing possession, and that's exactly what happened there. Andrew Hoxie looks like he's a little hurt, shaken up here. So now come off.
Well, you're right. Didn't realize that he had caught the, I wonder if he stepped on. Whatever it is, that just looks painful. All right, so Santana comes on. Nelson will hang out in front of Coughlin. They'll send the ball in to Thomas in the corner. Thomas looks to corral to Raley, and that's a handball. Syracuse off the restart. But Thomas, great speed. Thomas. He couldn't get the ball off his foot. Now he does to Raley. Raley over to Dantas. Dantas brings it back around, and that was Santana with a shot.
Great thought there by Nelson. Great effort by Raley to set him up, and Nelson just a little bit unable to get over top of that ball and carried on him on a shot. You know, it's interesting. I'm going through and looking at the game logs here, as this is now the Blast 9th game in Serena. 9th home game this season, and 9 games in their lifetime playing here. And of those 9 games, Vinny Dantas has scored in 7 of those 9 games. So only 2 home games that he has not scored in this arena. Most of them multiple games, multiple scores. And he has not tallied one here tonight. So for Vinny Dantas, one of the few games that he hasn't been able to put one in this arena.
Pick the action back up with 1:10 to go. Boudreaux leaves it for Raymond. Raymond into the corner for Toby. Those two highlight goals we're talking about. Toby owned one of them as he came flying in to score Syracuse's third goal and tie the game. Save made by Capino. Syracuse able to take it right back. Trying to leave it for Tavernisi. His centering pass is broken up.
Great play by Daniel Peruzzi.
And Santana has someone climb his back and foul against Syracuse. All right, free kick for Baltimore. Take a look.
Pat asked him to walk it off.
Like he was trying to summit the mountain. All right, Healy will restart this play. Donatelli. Blast have 40 seconds to work with this. See if they can set something up, boy. Nascimento. Healy smart just to play it off the boards. Dantas back in. Along with Donatelli. Peruzzi. 20 seconds left in the quarter. And Blast just looking to get it past into the offensive end. Here's Healy. 15 seconds to go. Peruzzi. Peruzzi starts to dribble in. Now gets double teamed. Off the boards. Tries to center. No one there. And Boudreaux picks it up with just a couple seconds left. The quarter's going to come to an end. These two teams. They played 1-goal games. The first two.
Hold on, wait a minute. We're going to get stopped here. There's going to be 1 second left on a 3-line violation as that ball came down. So the Blast are going to get a 1 second opportunity for a 3-line violation restart.
Way to catch that, Andrew. Boy, as they're going to give them a 1/10 of a second and bring that third quarter to an end.
Well, that was interesting.
Question mark? Yes.
Yeah, no, that was interesting because there were the Blast. It was 1/10 of a second ended up being put on, so the Blast could not have kicked it. And so they were trying to figure out what they were going to do there.
Right. Could you have really done anything? End of 3. We're tied at 5. This is MASL TV.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
All right, we're in the third quarter intermission right now. Baltimore Blast 5 and Syracuse 5. Boy, through 3 quarters, we've watched these teams go back and forth, and well, this is what we've seen out of these two teams through the regular season. And Steve Stoffberg, Andrew Primrose with you, Gary Stein, Paul Mittermeier, they'll join you back here on the video stream and back in a couple weekends and 3 weekends when the team hosts back-to-backs on the 23rd and the 24th. But Andrew, it was just waiting on my third quarter stats right now, just thinking back to just a few weeks ago back in Syracuse when the Blast had a 2-1 halftime lead, extended it to 3-1 early in the fourth. Watch Syracuse score 3 in a row to take a 4-3 lead, and it was a heroic effort from the Blast to tie the game with just 16 seconds left in regulation and win it in overtime to win that 5-4 matchup. And then back in November here at CQ Arena, it was 6-4, Blast with a 2-goal lead. Heading towards the end, the extra attacker produced a goal for Syracuse. Blast answered back And turned out they really needed that 7th goal because one more score there by Syracuse ended up with a 1-goal win and a 7-6 win there. So it's been tight, and we're seeing that here through 3 quarters of play. The numbers through 3 quarters right now, as you can imagine, with it being 5-5 on the scoreboard, and the stat sheet somewhat even as well. Blast with 23 shots to Syracuse's 27. And 9 saves so far for Andrew Coughlin, and 12 for Joey Capinos. 10 blocks by the Blast, the 9 for Syracuse. Blast with 8 fouls, Syracuse with 9 as the teams take the field ready here for the 4th quarter. Andrew, anything from down on the bench?
Well, I think you brought up an interesting point, is that gap in the fouls has closed pretty significantly. The Blast had a 5-foul advantage before, now that's closed down to just 1. So interesting to see as the fouls kind of balancing out there. I know Syracuse bench a little upset, but it seems to be a well-called game so far, as the play on the field is determined here. In Syracuse, this would be a massive win for their confidence, coming off a game where they had to play another second-place team, winning at home. If they can sweep this weekend against 2 of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, that's got to be huge for them. And so even though they're fatigued right now, they're playing for a lot.
Blast with the kick in. All right, Healy out. To get it started, we got a timeout on the field. Andrew.
That's an interesting timeout there, as Pat Healy was late running on, and I guess they wanted to reset there as he kind of hobbled over towards the bar and then faked out and then called the timeout quickly. So even though only 9 seconds into the quarter, the Blast recognized the importance of these restarts.
Let's talk a little bit about the, as we've been hinting, well, the games coming up against Milwaukee are important. It's all about the conference seeding, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 out of 3 games is really going to decide this Eastern Conference. Assuming the Blast, do what they need to do in games like this. They have a 1-game lead on Milwaukee right now, but they have 3 left to play. 2 in Milwaukee, 1 here in Baltimore. And I know the game next week going to be a great crowd, some great Baltimore fans heading out there. I'm sure Oliver will be in attendance. And that's going to be a fun one to see, as Milwaukee had been down for a little bit. I mean, they're starting to come back the last couple years, but for a while there, the rivalry had shifted from Baltimore-Milwaukee to Baltimore-Kansas City/Missouri. And so it's going to be exciting to see those teams back together again, and those 2 games back-to-back weekends in Milwaukee, and then, of course, coming back here for that 3rd game.
All right, here's the free kick. Is Healy, Dantas in the middle, and it's rejected by Boudreau.
And Milwaukee does such a good job. Their home field advantage, the production crew, they turn up the lights when they score the goals. It's a lot of fun down there to watch. And I know the Blast do not want to play an Eastern Conference Finals game there. So those 2 out of 3 regular season games are going to be about as important as a regular season game can be when you have a 6-game lead in your division.
Thompson able to bring it off the boards. Couldn't center to Boudreau as Healy with the denial. And then Blast with the procedure call against them as Adriano had it come off him, off the and into the stands. So procedure call, and that'll mean a kick in from
they
the top
have 6
of the
men
arc.
on the field. Syracuse has 6 men on the field there. But the ball went out, so they do have the opportunity for the restart.
And Slavio Parapovic, feed in there, Boudreau and Capinos on top of it this time.
Well, again, what did they do? They went low and across his face, and this time he was up to it.
Healy plays it down in the corner, a little far from Mello as Coughlin clears. Donatelli first to it. Healy right back to Tony. Tony's got a 3-on-2 if possible. Mello in the corner. Mello off the boards, right in front. Vinny to score. The Blast have retaken the lead early in the 4th quarter, and it's 6-5 Baltimore.
Well, you thought the Blast might have blown that opportunity when Tony Donatelli's pass went a little long, but Mello did a great job finding it in the corner and then sending it all the way across to a wide open Vinny Dantas on the far post. This is all made here as Mello settles and just no-look pass, turns it around, knowing his teammate and friend's going to be at the other end of it. And for the Blast, Vinny Dantas gets on the board, and the Blast regain the lead.
Loving the excitement here, and for Vinny Dantas.
Well, we talked about his name being off the score sheet, and now here in 9 games, he's scored in 7 of them here in this arena. And you would expect him to score multiple goals on a field like this with as talented an offensive player as he is. So
great pull of a stat there earlier, and by you, Andrew, and nice job by Vinny down on the field.
It'll be interesting to see how Syracuse responds. Again, the tired legs. We know what they're dealing with the travel, the cold weather up there, and having to fight through the snow. And now here they are down 1 in the fourth quarter. Can they keep that pressure up and stay in this game? Not allow the Blast to go on a run, which they're very capable of doing. We've seen a number of times this year the Blast kind of sense blood in the end of the third quarter, beginning the fourth quarter, and score goals in bunches.
Blast able to settle. Send it into Hoxie in the corner, but can't play that ball out to Pereira. Forbes was on top of it. Dos Santos gets run right into the boards there by Ubi Parapovich. And a foul called, where they were just trying to sub a guy out and had actually opened the door. And take a look as Dos Santos almost joined the bench. So, kick in here for the Blast on the restart. Hoxie trying to control down low, just being hugged by Toby around the waist.
Toby was taking him to prom.
All right, Coughlin with the distribution. Tries to bring it right back to him. Blast disrupt. Here's Hoxie. Couldn't fire it to the far side as Raymond stepped in to break it up. That was Callahan, actually, as Pereira in on Raymond with a nice takeaway. Here's Nascimento. And Marco able to send it down the floor. Blast get some fresh legs out on the floor. 6-5. Right now for Baltimore. Oh, here's Thompson with another solid drive and a rejection by Capinos.
And again, now this is just a straight pattern now, as Capinos has to know that it's going low and across his face here, as every shot seems to be coming from that exact space.
All right, we'll attempt the crossing feed, and right in front there was Healy. And Syracuse awarded the corner.
And you see who tossed that ball in there in the corner? You can see him on the corner of the feed.
Did not.
Harrisburg Heat owner and Fremont Mortgage owner and sponsor of the Blast, Carl Delma, in the house tonight. Carl taking in the game, watching two Eastern Conference foes.
There's a Blast with a bit of a breakout right here. As D'Alvera, and he can't bring it home. Was Pereira. Jawan was right there. Just a miss.
That was a brilliant move by Oliviero to set him up there, and Juwan
Take a look
just,
at the replay.
you can see, just gets underneath of it.
All right, Blast. Let's take away again on a 50-50. Here's the left foot by Thomas. Rejected by Coughlin. Blast look to settle on the back end. Here's Healy. Just play that ball up the boards. See if Thomas can make something happen against Forbes. Can't do so. Love how the Blast continue to pressure. Up front. All down to Yelovic. Off the boards. Tries the center. Wasn't there for Boudreau. Thomas up with it for Baltimore. Raley. Play it up to Dantas. Nice little foot to leave it there for Thomas. Thomas tried to leave it for Mello. And not enough on it. 11 minutes to play in the contest. Blast with a 1-goal lead, 6-5. Blast 4 games up on Syracuse, 5 on Florida. Yelovic plays it back. Here's Forbes. Forbes was the first star last night. Off the board, in front. Not there for Toby or for Thompson. To Ubi Parapovich. Second star in that game last night was Raymond with 2 goals, and the third was Coughlin with his 12-save performance in that game. Opportunity, and
sound like a broken record,
still
but
putting pressure on the offensive end.
Yeah, it sounds like a broken record here, but the same shot over and over again. And Syracuse has decided that's what they're going to do here.
Minutes to go.
Joey Tavernisi sums on, works his way down into the box, matched up with Dos Santos.
Blast on that defensive side. Team that just, off a quick restart there into Thompson, and then it's brought home by Tavernisi. to tie this game at 6. How about the awareness and the quick recognition by Forbes off the quick restart in order to put that ball in play?
Jamie Thomas upset with that, but he's pulling, and he was wondering why he didn't get the foul called for him. But either way, for the Blast, we know on this size of a field, you cannot sit around and wait for a call because goals can happen on the restarts from everywhere. And then for the Blast, a lack of awareness, being prepared for it, and this game is tied again.
So Tavernisi with the goal to go with an assist from earlier in the game.
Syracuse goal, scored by number 27.
And really, you know, we got to talk about it. That's a great job by Syracuse. I mean, you got to do that. That's great awareness by them. They reset. They started right away, and that's exactly what you have to do there. Very impressed with this Syracuse team right now.
Here's Dos Santos. Nascimento. Off the board, pass Coughlin. Santana there, and back out to Dos Santos. Oh, what a save! As he came flying back in, and Adriano just didn't have it center cage. All right, right back, another opportunity. Nascimento in front, Coughlin stopped it and then almost swatted it back towards his own net. Nascimento one more time, Donatelli blocked in front by Raymond. It's picked up by Peruzzi, and the Blast will settle with 8:45 to go.
Donatelli on the far boards did not see him as Tony had a run unmarked there as Yelovak was late finding him on the substitution.
Here's Peruzzi off the 50-50. He's got it. He put a straight right foot right there and just shy of the cage.
Well, he had earned the advantage on a foul call, had the chance to take it through, went through. Coughlin was able to get a hand on it and redirect it to the post. And nice save by Coughlin there.
All right, Peruzzi. With control up top. Long possession here. Having some opportunities. Now Syracuse with the takeaway. Schindler, but Dos Santos right back there. The Blast can play, and a nice job by Capinos with an impending pressure on the team. 3-line call.
That'll be the officials' timeout as well. No, they can't. Actually, they cannot do an immediate timeout. They can't do that because it stayed in play. Only the immediate timeout on balls that go out. So 3-line violation, the ball stays in bounds.
Here's Ubi Parapovic, 3 points tonight. 1 goal, 2 assists. Right on cage, straight into the midst of Capinos.
So just a reminder, the immediate timeout, the first ball under 8 minutes that goes out of bounds, that'll be a 3-line violation as Dantas misses it with his head. He wants to say he didn't, but pretty clear he did.
Blast tonight, 6 goals, 6 different scores. Donatelli and Hoxie, along with Dantas and Healy, Dos Santos, Nascimento. Right off the restart, it'll be Parapovic, and just knocked aside by that defense. Loose ball right on top of it, Thompson. Good job by Vinny, and cleared out there by D'Olivero. Well, with that ball out of play.
So the argument now, whether it's 3 lines or it's out of play, it's a 3-line pass first. So it's 3-line first, and that's the correct call.
Officials timeout.
Wow.
All right.
So what's the...
All right. Oh, here's what we know. Officials timeout. 7:34 to go. Here in the 4th quarter, we're tied at 6. This is the game of the week on MASL TV.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Steve Stoufberg, Andrew Primrose back with you here. 7:34 to play in the contest. We're tied at 6. Andrew's been tight. Did you get anything about the call down out on the field?
Yeah, actually, we're just talking about that there. So the first offense, so the ball crosses the 3-point line. The second it crosses the three-point line, it becomes the first foul. Then the ball goes out of play, which would have been the illegal play, and so that would have been the restart from the top of the arc. But they have to call the first foul. So they call the ball out of bounds for the restart for the officials' timeout, but they have to enforce the first foul that was called, and that's why it's a three-line pass, and it's a top of the yellow line restart instead of a top of the arc.
Here's Mello as he comes down in. Mello, right foot, looking to get a shot off, does, off the boards. And kick back up, Healy. Healy's able to pick it back up down low, and then he can't bring it down. Waiting for a call, three-line. Violation once again.
Pat pretty adamant that he was outside. So now they're going to do three-line.
Yep.
Well, if we can see a replay on that one after this scoring opportunity for Syracuse. It looked like to me he might have been out over across the line.
Here's Forbes. Forbes sends it to Schindler. Whiffed off the right foot, kicked off his left heel, back to Forbes. It'll be Parapovich against Pereira. Boy, Juwan playing some tough D. He's able to get it back to Schindler.
Thing with Juwan is there's so much speed, and he's so low at such a great center of gravity. Even though he's not a big guy, he plays like a big guy. He really does a great job of that pressure high on the defensive end. Even though he's an offensive player, he's up on the ball. He does such a good job of playing defense early in the zone, and it really shows. And it's hustle. It's effort and hustle.
6:40 played in the contest. This game tied at 6 as Raymond tries to play it up at midfield, but Healy right there. Healy sends it in. Coughlin right on top of the possession.
Real close to a three-line. Great distribution by Coughlin.
Blast looked to get control. Tough defense there. Who was that? Pereira that came in? Was that Juwan again? Andrew.
Well, I mean, it was pretty clearly it was deflected by Syracuse. I mean, that's how the ball. I mean, he was kicking it straight, and the ball went sideways. I don't know how. I mean, the ball couldn't have gone that way, but maybe referee's screen there. Tough call there. But either way, now the Blast have given up a lot of restarts in this end now.
There we go.
And we'll see another one here.
There's Boudreau hanging out on the wing. No, send it down to the corner. Tried to kick it back out. Ubi Parapovich, score.
Syracuse.
He looked to go to Tavernisi. That was the first time they've done that off the set tonight. Tavernisi right back. Got the Blast spinning, looking for where the ball was. Ubi Parapovich, Johnny on the spot. Right, fourth point tonight, Andrew. 2 goals, 2 assists for number 99.
Well, Syracuse, you wondered how they would react. Fourth quarter, close game, tired legs, playing that, and you saw it here. This is going to be a team. I mean, we knew it was going to be a close game as Bordeaux spills rarely there from behind in order to get position. We knew this was going to be a close game, and I don't think the Blast were expecting to be down here in the fourth quarter, especially after the way this game started. But that's where they're at, and we'll see the heart of a champion here as the Blast have to fight back down 1 at home, a position they're not used to doing.
Andrew was in that game back on January 12th in which Syracuse took the lead at the 6:47 mark of the fourth quarter. Here tonight, they did it at the 8:52 mark.
Well, and of course, that game in Syracuse, and the other thing that game we haven't talked about a lot, the Blast were devastated by injuries going into that game. They really had almost nobody healthy going into that game. That was where we saw the emergence of John Orlando. But for the Blast, it was a game where they started virtually none of their starters.
Syracuse with their first lead tonight. Here comes Dantas down the field. Their shot high and rejected by Coughlin. So a corner kick here for Baltimore. See is Donatelli. Will take the corner kick. Dantas down low. Dos Santos in the box. Here comes Peruzzi to maybe set a pick. And Nascimento outside. Send it to the right foot. Takes the left-handed shot. Left-footed shot. And it's blocked by Forbes in front. All right, Blast with some work to do. There's Capinos. Send it in the corner. It eludes Dantas. Got quick. That ball moved around that boards quickly. Syracuse will play it up. In the middle, Donatelli, nice header. Right back to Dos Santos. Leaves it for Nascimento. Nascimento through one, off the corner. Couldn't get that right bounce off the boards. There's Schindler out front. He left it behind for Forbes. Forbes back to Ubi Parapovic. Peruzzi comes storming right in. Centers, and he can't bring it home. Dos Santos. Taverny, as Raymond came back down low. And Coughlin corrals it with 4:42 to play in the contest. Blast trail 7-6 here at the CQ Arena, the campus of Towson University. Blast settle on the defensive end. Nascimento comes up to play against Raymond. Will be a restart here for Syracuse. Trying to catch the Blast on the substitution. Callahan sends it in. Another kick in right back for Syracuse. For block in front by De Oliveira. As Dos Santos plays Tavernese hard. Ends up laying on top of him. Another foul for Baltimore. All right, looks like Boudreaux will take the free kick. Back to Toby. We're at the 4-minute mark. Blast looking to attack.
Juwan again, Creighton.
Turnover. Callahan from down in the corner. Get back to Toby.
Blast back to that midfield man pressure. Not going full court yet, but pushing towards it.
Waiting to see who comes up. With that one opportune turnover here is Hoxie. Hoxie plays it into the corner for Mello. Jonathan the double team and lost the handle. Ball back down to Boudreaux. Santos will look to smother him in the corner as Boudreaux is able to somehow play it back. Nice job, Hoxie, by taking away the board and the carom. 3:10 to go. Syracuse will play it back. Looking to get another set up here. It's Dos Santos. Moves it out in the middle. Mello comes to play it. Pereira looks to turn the corner against Schindler. Starts down the near boards. Good job holding up. Possession Blast. 2:45 to go in the contest.
Blast get a full line sub out. And Pat Healy putting on the 6th attacker jersey, and the Blast will call a timeout. And they're going to go 6th attacker here with 2:37 left as Pat Healy was pulling it out right then. And the Blast are going to go early now as Capinos gets the stop. And here we go, 2:37 left. Blast down 1, and it'll be 6th attacker for the last 2.5 minutes until the Blast equalize it, if they can equalize it.
All right, Andrew, give me a little history here as the Blast, when the Blast have had to do this. Have they had to do this year?
Well, they played an entire game 6th attacker here in Baltimore when William Vanzela went out. So, yeah, we saw a lot of Pat Healy. So far this year, though, when we're down, we're trying to get the man advantage playing from behind. No, we have not done that this year. This will be the first time at home that we've done that. So, interesting for Pat Healy and for the Blast. We've actually struggled 6th attacker defense in this arena. The Blast have given up a lot of goals in the 6th attacker defense, not including the goals they gave up with Pat Healy in goal, just in the regular with William in there. So for the Blast, it'll be interesting to see the other end of that is can they generate offense with the 6th attacker as Pat Healy will step on.
Pat Healy, 41 minutes in the cage, and that when he had to come in for William Vanzela. And only giving up a couple goals through that time.
I mean, this is the game that if you know you're going to see them in a playoff series, if you're Syracuse, you know that, you virtually know if you make the playoffs, you're going to be playing against Baltimore, and you're going to have to come here. 2 years ago, they played Baltimore very tough in a playoff series. And for them this year in this arena, for them to be the first team to beat Baltimore and to do it in this kind of fashion, this is a huge confidence builder. So for Syracuse, they're putting everything they possibly can into this. And you can see they're not sitting back on their heels. They're going full man pressure here, and they're going to make the Blast earn this.
the whistle play in. Dos Santos. Now play it back to Healy at the 2:30 mark. Healy down to Hoxie in the corner. Hoxie off the boards. Over to Dantas and a score! The Blast have tied this game with the extra attacker on for a whole 13 seconds.
Well, that worked.
How huge was that, Andrew?
Well, that worked. Vinny Dantas, and it was Pat Healy on the distribution all the way down to Hoxie. Brilliant job by Hoxie to one touch settle it, send it across, and then Vinny Dantas, the half bicycle. That's just a beautiful finish. And now Syracuse is going to call a timeout as they're going to look to regroup. 2:24 left now, suddenly in a tie game.
Oh, my. Vinny Dantas, his second goal tonight. 17 on the season, 63 in his Blast career. He scored, as Andrew, as you pointed out, he has a home goal. He knows how to score at home, that's for sure. He's parked 2 against Syracuse here at the CQ Arena back in November. Had the goal against Harrisburg in the last game, and now has 2 tonight. The assist, Andrew Hoxie. So Hoxie 1-1 tonight.
The thing with Vinny Dantas is if he played in another system, if he got to go down there and just shoot whatever he wanted and not worry about defense, he would be the leading scorer in this league. The fact that he buys into the defensive system, he plays this Blast style of soccer, and still generates the offensive numbers and offensive plays that he does, it's just a test to how good an offensive player he is. He could be the best offensive player in this league if he focused on it. Instead, he focuses on winning, and that's why the Blast have so many championships.
Sorry to take away from the moment, but is he about a 3X? Can I bid on his jersey or not?
It's a slightly different build on a 3X maybe.
All right, not going to work. I'm still searching. Blast jerseys getting auctioned off tonight, wearing the pink. All money to be donated to foundations, breast cancer research.
I'm thinking maybe if we got like Juwan.
Do I have to buy 2 jerseys and put them in the one?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. If we get 2 L's, maybe
all right.
2 L's make a 3X. I don't know that math.
Under 2 to play. Healy will send it into the corner. Santana hard into the side. A little redirection by Toby. And Syracuse up with Coughlin with the distribution. Will send it down to Thompson. Thompson tonight with a goal. Here comes Thompson, able to bring it off the boards. Oh, Forbes with a shot. A nice denial by Capinos. Healy not able to clear it as Forbes crashed the boards and took it right off. Forbes read in front, and he's just wide. Minute 30 to play in the contest. Schindler off the far side.
Syracuse.
And now Ubi Parapovic, 2-2 tonight, 4 points for Slavi.
Syracuse getting a ton of possession time here, peppering the goal. This is not what the Blast want to see, as they're usually the ones with the possession time in these kind of situations.
10, Parapovic inside, Nascimento looked to clear. Nice job by Capinos to get on top of it. He'll offer it up with that 1 minute mark to go in regulation. Ball up and taken away by Yelovic. Back out on the field, the captain off the boards. Healy playing strong in the middle. Here's Dantas over on the far side. Double teamed and Raymond with a takeaway. Yelovic leaves it for Forbes. Forbes off the boards, now it's denied by Healy. Boy, Forbes throw a bit of a bow on Thomas. Now Ubi Parapovic blocked in front by Rayleigh. Here's Donatelli. Send it up to Dantas. Dantas, I don't know if he got it off with the right foot or the left.
Left foot coming
Leave
across,
it
Jamie
here.
Thomas.
Blocked in front by Raymond. And the Blast with 18.4 left in regulation. Healy send it into the corner. Left up top there, Donatelli. Donatelli couldn't control. Here's Forbes. Forbes with a run down the boards. Rayleigh marks him. Thomas cuts in front. 10 seconds left. Forbes feed across. Here's Yelovic with 5 seconds. Yelovic with 3. Blocked in front by Dantas. Up into the stands with 2.1 left. Syracuse will have the kick in from the side. Thompson, Schindler, and Yelovic there in the middle. Ubi Parapovic.
Timeout, Syracuse on the field, as they'll want to take this opportunity. This could be, in a sense, a walk-off shot here.
overtime. There's a possibility for our game, both these teams. No doubt used to it.
Trying to watch here as both coaches drawing it out. Interesting, Ryan Hall went out with his Syracuse team, only talking to the 5 guys on the team. Danny Kelly bringing his team over to the bench, talking with everybody out there, looking for the defense.
Syracuse is.
So I think the question is for Syracuse, you usually only have one pass, or you would expect to only have one pass with this amount of time left. And so for the Blast, I think the markup is you just don't let them turn and spin on a shot. And now you're seeing another interesting thing is Andrew Coughlin sneaks up. It's not the worst thought in the world with 2.1 seconds left. Can the Blast get possession and get a shot off? Or is it worthwhile for Syracuse to do that? They won't.
Ruby Parapovic here on the restart, blocked in front. Nice job, Mello. And the horn sounds. We're through 4 quarters of play. Overtime coming up here at the CQ Arena. This is MASL TV. Steve Staufberg, Andrew Primrose. We're live with you here from the CQ Arena on the campus of Towson University. Our score, Blast 7, Silver Knights 7, tied and headed to overtime. These two teams have, in their matchups this season, have played an overtime game which favored the Blast, and that just being their last meeting on January 12th up in Syracuse at the War Memorial Arena up there. That game ended a minute 27 into the overtime period. Of course, both teams getting set here for this overtime period. Let's send it down to Andrew.
Now let's talk about the rules for overtime here in the MASL. So it's 1 10-minute overtime period. Golden goal, that means first goal wins in the overtime. Fouls are reset. Both teams get 1 timeout. If the score is somehow tied after the end of that 10 minutes, and we did see it happen earlier this year, the Blast, then we go to shootouts. So for the Blast, the object is to score before the Syracuse Silver Knights do. Otherwise, we could see shootouts here tonight.
You get a 3-minute period between the end of regulation and overtime. Catch the breath, strategize, be ready for more time. Andrew brought this to us early in this game, but Syracuse last night, a winner over Cedar Rapids 6-4 in their home arena, had to come here and were delayed just because of the icy weather up there. Andrew, a little more about that.
Well, yeah, for Syracuse, I mean, we talked about the travel and the time getting in there. They got in there a little late. They were used to, or they were expecting to have a little bit of late arrival time because of, leaving the night of. And I think that's, Ryan Hall said early on, that's kind of their strategy. He would rather the guys get in, get a good night's sleep, and rather than have to wake up, travel in the bus. And I think that's the right strategy. The Blast have typically used that as well. But for them now, the legs, you got to wonder if that's an issue here, is not only they play a very close, tough game against Cedar Rapids last night, but they got to come here and do this against one of the best teams in the league, and it's been an impressive showing from Syracuse so far.
Syracuse dealt with what was reported by one of the members of the officiating crew as a lot of ice.
Yeah, he said 6 inches. That's kind of crazy.
Slow going there, but they came in middle of the night. Officiating crew, middle of the afternoon. Here we are in overtime. And ready to get this one underway.
We haven't talked about the crowd here tonight. When the second sellout in the history of CQ Arena, as the Blast had a full sellout crowd here tonight, and most of them still in their seats as this overtime period begins. Great crowd, been a fun environment, loud, loud, loud. And the fans here, if you haven't had a chance to check out a game here, you should come do it, as the fans are right on top of the action.
Syracuse with will be Parapovic, and there's going to be a foul go against Syracuse. So Blast possession. Blast with 34 shots in regulation to 36 for Syracuse. 17 saves for Capinos tonight, 14 for Coughlin. Blast with their first offensive possession here in overtime. As many Dantas, 2 goals tonight. Tried to center. Mello not there. Not able to get on top of it. As Pereira will send it back to Dos Santos and reset. Try to send it into the middle to Vinny. And played away there by the defender, Toby. A blast after picking up that 50-50 over to Dantas. Toby walling him off from taking possession. Thompson down the right side. Leaves it for Forbes. Well, switch up lines. Just a minute in. Boudreau right off the bench to take it. We'll work it back to Schindler. Schindler now taking into the corner for Jelinek. Mello trying to get some kind of angle and pushed back by Jelinek. 6'3" from Serbia.
Well, Jelenek's getting that arm up there pretty high, and Melo's getting upset about it. It's hitting him in the jaw, the chin, and the face, and he keeps knocking it down, but foul not called there.
We'll play it into the right corner for Raymond. Raymond now back. Coughlin will bring it back to the corner and able to get it into Tavernisi up. Solid. Some type of violation here.
3-line violation.
Oh.
And Tavernisi's real lucky there that he didn't get a delay of game. As he had the ball and then kicked it down the other end there as Tavernisi wasted time in order to get back there. But 3-line violation, a restart for the Blast here at the yellow line.
What the Blast can do with this. Rayleigh and Dos Santos send down low. And timeout called by Mello. Couldn't tell whether that was just the intent all along or if
yeah, I think they were looking at, they want to see the defensive alignment and look at it, and I think they also want to get a different team on to take that. So the Blast bench had called that kind of early, and I think Mello was just taking a look at it and seeing if there was anything that was wide open there. Otherwise, they were going to come in and reset and give a chance for a walk-off goal.
Andrew, want to get this mention into, had said before that at the regular season finale here at the CQ Arena, February 24th, excuse me, the final regular season home game, February 24th against Florida. It's a Hall of Fame induction. Voting still open right now online. 5 to choose from: Scott Heilman, Joel Salenza, PJ Wakefield, Franklin McIntosh, and Segou.
And don't forget to write in Paul Mittermeier and Gary Stein. Starting their campaign right now. And of course, interesting that you bring that up. It's a big day in Baltimore for Hall of Fames as Ray Lewis becomes the second Baltimore Raven player elected in the Hall of Fame. Of course, the Ravens linebacker joins the class that's announced tonight. So Ray gets in, and one of the Blast players will join the illustrious Hall of Fame for the Blast. So get your votes in for that. And again, write in Paul Mittermeier and Gary Stein. Thank you.
Paul and Gary, heartily endorsed by Andrew. Emphasized by Andrew. Here's Dos Santos. Healy, leave it, back foot, Donatelli, and his shot off Thompson.
And Tavernisi's going to need a minute here as he got smacked in the head with that shot. And he's going to come off. He should come off. It's a head injury. He's got to. Yeah, that's a dangerous one. That's tough.
Good job seeing that one, Andrew. All right, so the Blast with the restart here from the corner.
Yeah, a little disagreement on where that ball should be placed and where it went out of. It went hard off.
And Healy off the board, straight in. Couldn't get handled there by in front. Now played way down. Thompson tries the center for Callahan, not there. Jelinek late. Here's Toby, eaten in front by Healy. And another block from the Blast defender. We're through 2 minutes of overtime right now. Here's Jelinek over in the far corner. He'll play it off the board, center to no one. Here's Juan Pereira. Pereira, as Callahan contested. Leave it in place.
2.5
Settles
minutes
back
in.
onto the defensive side. Forbes off the boards. Capinos comes out to play it. Nice job.
There's a little bit of difference between William Vanzela and Capinos. Capinos got up and threw the ball. Williams would have tried to murder Yelovak there. He doesn't like getting touched on those plays.
There's a crossing pass. One home, Mello. Bring it back to Dos Santos. There's Nascimento. He'll bring it up to Pereira. Pereira tries to turn and get the shot off. Blocked by Toby in front. Picked up by Yelovak, and he'll send it far down the field. Off one player, Capinos. And he just clears it out of his own end.
Another bad mental mistake there by Capinos, and be interesting to see. I don't know, they're going to call a timeout maybe? Syracuse steps across. I don't know, Kennard Forbes came over to the bench to talk with Ryan Hall.
Let's see. Forbes.
Timeout, there it is. Yep.
Timeout. Stops the clock with 6:52 to go here in overtime. We're tied at 7. You're watching the Baltimore Blast here on MASL TV. Catch every game each week here on the league's official streaming home. That's MASL.tv. Be sure to get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Hey, the Blast would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting good brands, starting production in 1817. Miter is a proud partner of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. All right, Andrew, a lot of discussion here. Syracuse, we've watched them score off free kick opportunities from the top of the arc. Here from the yellow line after the three-line violation. Here's Forbes. He'll start it once again. Forbes down into the corner. Tavernisi can't handle it. Boudreau able to scoop it up, and here come the Blast. And a nice takeaway here, Thomas. Thomas, right foot shot. That's well off the mark.
It's a shame there from Thomas. It was a brilliant give and go to himself off the boards, and just bad luck as he couldn't get the shot on target.
There's a lot of adrenaline there from the Silver Spring native. Ball
Look at that move by
Thompson's feet,
Thompson.
and he's able to get it. Capinos comes out to play it. Nice job. Loose ball, and he was able to head it aside. Blast will dump it into the corner. Here's Dos Santos. Dos Santos
like
back
that.
to Mello. Didn't have the right angle.
Just like that, defense turns to offense here in this field. The Blast with a scoring opportunity in the possession now.
Here's Peruzzi. D'Oliveira. He'll play it down to Peruzzi. Peruzzi all alone in the center in front. Well, if he was getting that shot off, it was a tough angle. There's no one there in front of the crease. They'll go right back. Here's Vinny Dantas off the off the bench. And tough defense played by Tavernisi.
Well, I don't know about as much tough defense as just getting in the way and getting run over by the tank there, as he was just roadkill. As Vinny Dantas, when he gets the ball on the goal like that, in front of the goal like that, he is virtually an unstoppable force. That's a big man. And Tavernisi got ran over.
Yelovak over in the corner. Go ahead and double bow. Send it up top. Raymond. Raymond's shot denied. D'Olivero. All right, Schindler with the kick in right in front of the bench. Ubi Parapovitz. He'll sub out in favor of Boudreau. Boudreau on the field now with a couple of goals tonight. Last takeaway. Here's Mello as he leaves it for Thomas, trying to get it upfield. And not able to do so. Syracuse takes it back midfield. And then, boy, nice speed that time by Thomas just to disrupt things, to disrupt the flow. All right, Schindler will try to play it in. Nice clear.
Well, big break for Syracuse there as they had 6 men on the field for a good 10 seconds, and it was missed and not seen there.
Is that what I saw Dos Santos screaming at the officials for?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, as I didn't see who was over on the far side. That'll be a foul called.
Holding foul on Syracuse number 55, Kennard Forbes, free kick Blast.
Foul on Forbes. I think that's Mello down.
little bit of drama down here.
All right, Andrew.
Yeah, it's interesting as I'm watching here a little bit as Dos Santos makes the case. And,
and he is pointing out that extra man like you were talking about, right?
Yeah, no, it was clearly 6 men. I mean, there were 2 guys way out on the field. They got messed up on the substitution. And, I mean, it wasn't close. I mean, it was a good 5 to 10 seconds of them coming out as Jonathan Mello looks like he's okay as he walks off the field under his own power. But that could have been huge for the Blast. 6 minutes left, or 4 minutes left, rather.
That's true.
And would have been
if they had called that 6 men on the field.
But was not called, so here we are. 5 guys on the field for each team now.
All right,
4 minutes left.
With the restart here for the Blast. Send it down to Hoxie. And the referee playing a little defense as well. And Hoxie able to get it back. Thomas, Hoxie, 2 men down in the corner. Tough scrap against Thomas and Boudreaux. Blast retained possession. 4:20 left in the extra period. Here's Hoxie. He'll leave it for Donatelli. Donatelli off the boards. Healy left foot, and it's just wide of the cage.
And that'll be a legal procedure, and that'll be a top of the arc reset. And Pat doesn't want a timeout. He's saying go with it. He wants a team that's on there. Blast making a substitution with the ball going out of bounds. Mello, Dos Santos, Donatelli, and Vinny Dantas. Pat Healy on the ball.
All right, here's Healy. Healy, he'll start. Donatelli, shot, goal! Blast win, overtime. Eight-7 final after a little pinball to bring it home. And the Blast are undefeated still here in the CQ Arena. 3 one-goal wins here against the Silver Knights. 3 one-goal wins. Check out the replay. As Healy on the start, here's Donatelli, sends it in, off the defender, off the goalie, and right in. A pinball wizard, no doubt. 8-7 final, and the Blast with their 14th win of the season. 14-2 for the Baltimore Blast. How huge was that? Tony Donatelli. 5:49 into overtime. Donatelli from Healy. The vets and leaders on this team. Donatelli's second goal tonight. Healy, 1-1 for 2 points total. And the Blast winners in overtime, 8-7. Andrew Primrose down on the field right now. Another overtime win for the Blast here tonight. How about that save of the game by Joey Capinos? Time to send it down to the field for Andrew Primrose. He's got Tony Donatelli standing by.
Thanks, Gary. Down here with Tony. Tony, before we get to your game-winning goal, what is it with you and Syracuse playing one-goal games?
Well, they're a great team. It's a division rival, and they're fighting for their playoff spot. So we knew no matter they played last night, it was going to be a tough game, and give them credit. They battled through some tired legs and gave us everything they could handle. But we're just happy to come out on top in the end.
So you come out, you have a restart here in this end. Pat Healy over top the ball. Talk about that play and how it was designed.
Yeah, it was just a play that we have a few options on it. Pat has a decision to make and reads off their defense and where they're playing. And he had me or Vinny really was the top 2 options, and he gave me the chance and I was able to get it in.
Now, is it intended to pinball off a guy's head behind the back and in the net? Is that called?
Yeah, I called that.
You called it. All right. So before we go, I know something else you want to talk about. You got through tonight's game. What do you want to talk about tomorrow's game?
Yeah, it's Super Bowl tomorrow. Hopefully the Eagles can win one for me. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm really excited for tomorrow, and hopefully they can pull it out.
Well, I see a lot of green here tonight, and if it's not going to be purple, I guess we can say go Eagles for you and Gary. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I know you guys don't want the Patriots win again, right? So
absolutely. All right, thanks, Tony.
thank you. Yep.
Congratulations.
All right, there's Andrew Primrose with Tony Donatelli tonight, the game winner from number 11. 2 goals tonight, 18 on the season, 35 points altogether. He's amongst the league leaders on that end. Vinny Dantas with 2 goals tonight, and Jonathan Mello had 2 assists. Pat Healy, 1 goal, 1 assist tonight, and the Blast 8-7 overtime winners. I want to thank you for watching our video stream of tonight's game. The Baltimore Blast 8, Syracuse Silver Knights 7. The Blast with a 5-game lead over Syracuse and 5.5 over Florida right now. We thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and make sure you keep tuning in to MASL TV on MASL.TV.